Hello everyone. Today's topic is gestational trophoblastic diseases. First of all, we will talk about the benign part, then we will talk about the malignant part. As we know that excessive trophoblastic proliferation due to pregnancy or related condition, when we know that when there is a blastocyst, it contains two parts. First is embryo, the inner part is embryoblast and outer part is trophoblast. So the outer part proliferates more or excessive during pregnancy, and this condition is called gestational trophoblastic diseases. Gestational trophoblastic diseases divided into two parts. First is benign and then malignant. Malignant part we will talk about it later, and the benign part, it is called as the molar pregnancy. And H mole, there are two types of mole is there. H mole is called the herediform mole. There are two types of mole: complete mole and the partial mole. Complete mole we will call it as CHM, and partial mole we will call it as PHM, partial herediform mole. Now, we will talk about the epidemiology. Epidemiology in Asians, Hispanics, American and Indian, Philippines. 1:80 ratio are found in Philippines and Taiwan people. 0.5 to 2 per thousand pregnancy are found in the American one. Risk factor about age 20 to 35 is minimal risk, but when there is a patient who is less than 20 or more than 35, risk become double. And when there is a age more than 40 years, risk becomes 7.5 to 10 times. Now, this first of all we will understand the risk factor. So this is the zona pellucida defect are there. Whenever there is a defect in the zona pellucida, when there is a fertilization of the ovum occur, so there is a defect in the zona pellucida. So two sperm penetrates inside the ovum, secondary oocyte that is. So the partial mole is triploidy in nature. When there is a history of previous molar pregnancy, chances of complete herediform mole is 0.9% and partial herediform mole is 0.3%. The previous two molar pregnancy, 20% chances are there in both cases. Family history. In family history, chromosome number 19 defect are there of gene mutation and LPRP7 and KHDC3L gene mutation. 100% chances are there during the because of molar pregnancy due to the family history. Now, we will talk about the complete molar pregnancy due to empty egg fertilization. As we already know, there is a secondary oocyte which contain the haploid amount of chromosome, but due to the defect in the meiosis of the oocyte, there is empty egg is there. So maternal chromosome are absent or silenced. So fault may be in meiosis 1 or meiosis 2 of oogenesis. So there are two pathogenesis are there: monospermy diandry and dispermy diandry. In monospermy diandry, one sperm get doubles up inside the secondary oocyte, means when there is empty oocyte is there and sperm get fertilized by the sperm of 23 eggs, it get doubles up, so it become 46 eggs. 90% of the cases we will see this monospermy diandry, but in some cases there is a dispermy diandry also there. So there is an empty oocyte which get penetrated by the 23x and 23 by y, so the chromosome become 46xy in 5 to 10% cases. Now 46YY is not possible because it is not possible usually. And diploid zygote. Now we already know how zygote become diploid. डिप्लॉयड जाइगोट में 46XX के ज़्यादा चांसेस है एज कम्पेयर टू 46XY. Now what happens when we will see the we will see the tissue. What are the tissue is there inside the uterus when they get proliferate? So the excessive trophoblastic proliferation plus villi plus stromal edema are there, and in complete mole there is no fetus. Uterus size is more than the period of gestation in most of the cases. Okay. Now the partial mole में भी दो टाइप की पैथोलॉजी होती है. फर्स्ट, व्हेन देयर इज अ डिफेक्ट इन द जोनोपेलियोसिडा, सो देयर इज अ पेनिट्रेशन ऑफ मल्टी स्पर्म, मींस मोर देन वन स्पर्म. सो 49 69XXX 69XXY 69XYY triploid or above, it can be more than triploid. And when there is a faulty in the spermatogenesis, and rather than being in haploid sperm, there is a diploid sperm get penetrated into the ovum. So the zygote become triploid. The maternal chromosome is present, so the fetus formed by maternal and paternal chromosomes. But there is a baby who is congenitally malformed, so survival cannot be possible. And the uterus period of gestation is not more than the size of uterus. Okay. The placenta show the focal hydrops change. Placenta जो होता है उसमें hydropic changes देखने को मिलते हैं. Now, clinical features. Most symptoms, 70%, there is a vaginal bleeding is there, hemorrhage in the early pregnancy. Most specific symptom is the passage of the grape-like vesicle. छोटे छोटे vesicles निकलते हैं. And there is a symptoms of the anemia, hyperemesis gravidarum. 10% cases में hyperemesis gravidarum भी देखने को मिलता है. Since we know there is a lot of amount of SCG excreted from that part, so SCG की जो अल्फा यूनिट होती है वो TSH से रिजेंबल करती है. सो देयर इज अ हाइपरथायरॉइडिज्म सीन इन केस ऑफ मोलर प्रेगनेंसी. Hypertension is also there, can occur before, and eclampsia, gestational hypertension can occur before 20 weeks of gestation. Uterus, now we come to the part of examination. Now uterus become enlarged, soft, डोई इन अपीयरेंस, आटे जैसी यूट्रस की अपीयरेंस होती है, फीलिंग आटे जैसी आती है. हमको पता है कंप्लीट मोलर प्रेगनेंसी में पीरियड ऑफ गेस्टेशन ज़्यादा होता है और पार्शियल मोलर प्रेगनेंसी में पीरियड ऑफ गेस्टेशन कम होता है. थीकल यूटिन सिस्ट हमको मिलेगी तो हमको एग्जामिनेशन में फुलनेस मिलेगी, एडेनेक्सल फुलनेस देखने को मिलेगी. एंड फंक्शनल ओवेरियन सिस्ट में हम एचसीजी देखते हैं, एचसीजी की मॉनिटरिंग करते हैं और कुछ नहीं करते. इसमें हमें ओवरी ओफ्रिक्टोमी वगैरह नहीं करनी होती है. अब थीकल यूटिन सिस्ट हमको ज़्यादातर कंप्लीट मोलर प्रेगनेंसी में देखने को मिलती है रेदर देन पार्शियल मोलर प्रेगनेंसी. ड्यू टू द hyperthyroidism, there is a palpitation, tachycardia, sweating is also present. Diagnostic test is UPT positive, qualitative is UPT, and quantitative is beta SCG evaluation. beta SCG का टाइटर करते हैं हम. USG is the investigation of choice. In complete mole, the mass is seen in the uterus with anechoic cyst. It will be appear as a snowstorm appearance. Now in partial mole, there will be, in USG we will talking about, there is a thick enlarged multicystic placenta with fetus in the amniotic sac with congenitally anomalous baby. Okay, this is the diagnostic finding on USG of partial mole. Now we will talk about the twin pregnancy with one fetus is normal and another fetus is complete mole. So it will mimic as a partial mole because partial mole have some vesicle and some part of the fetus. But how we will differentiate it? We will differentiate it by the amniocentesis and the karyotyping. In karyotyping, by amniocentesis, we will found that there is a diploid chromosome, and in the partial mole we already know there is a triploidy or more than the triploid chromosome are there. So we will came to know about that this pregnancy is a twin with complete mole. In partial mole, in amniotic fluid will be triploid cell, where in twin pregnancy with complete mole there is a high chances of abortion, stillbirth, hemorrhage, hypertension and hyperemesis. Only 40% of the pregnancy will reach the term. Okay, The risk of gestational trophoblastic neoplasia in complete mole there is a 15 to 20%, and in partial mole there is a 0.5 to 5% is there. But in case of twin, if pregnancy continue, according to the FIGO, it is 27 to 46% of the chances of the gestational trophoblastic neoplasia. Patient may opt for MTP. It is the best option for there. But if they continue the pregnancy, we have to check the beta HCG level, and if there is a bleeding or hypertension or profusely bleeding is there, so we have to terminate that pregnancy. Now, management of molar pregnancy. First of all, the baseline is the beta HCG evaluation, chest X-ray, because in that cases molar pregnancy there is a chances of the metastasis are more. So cannonball appearance is there, vesicle is seen in the lung as well. So we have to evaluate lung by a chest X-ray, hemogram, creatinine level, serum electrolyte, liver function, SGOT, SGPT, TSH, because there is a hyperthyroidism. Blood group RH typing is necessary. We will talk it about later. Cross matching, because if there is a profuse bleeding, so we have to arrange blood. Now, treatment of choice. Suction and evacuation is the treatment of choice by MBA syringe, followed by gentle curettage through the sharp curettage after suction and evacuation. Gentle curettage we can done by the sharp curettage. Okay. First of all, we have to secure the IV line of 20 by the 20 gauge cannula. Then anesthesia, we can use regional or general anesthesia, but not regional anesthesia. Regional anesthesia is not preferred in case of shock. Uterotonics are not recommended before the procedure, but can be allowed during the procedure when there is a suction evacuation going on. That is the dose is 20 international unit in 1000 ml RL IV continuous, but never give bolus because bolus cause hypotension. Some points about MVA syringe. MVA syringe is 60 ml capacity. The pressure is 600 to 660 mmHg, and the cannula we are using, the Carmen cannula we are using of 12 to 14 number. Now, intra-op bleeding controlled by when we suction and we will done suction and evacuation, so there is a chances of the profuse bleeding, so we have to control it by some drugs are methergin, 0.2 milligram per intramuscular or IV can be given. Carboprost is 250 microgram intramuscular. Mesoprost 800 to 1000, sorry 100 is written there, 1000 microgram per rectal. When do you say curettage is complete? Curettage is complete when there is a grating sensation is there, internal os grating sensation, wrapping sensation is there, no more vesicles, no more bleeding or bubble appears at the external os. Okay, so now we will talk about that RH factor. When there is a RH negative mother, so the partner is RH positive, so ICT is negative, means patient is non-immunized, so we can give anti-D during the procedure. T1 अगर trimester 1 है तो 50 माइक्रोग्राम इंट्रामस्कुलर दे दो, और trimester 2 है तो 300 माइक्रोग्राम इंट्रामस्कुलर दे दो टू प्रिवेंट द आइसो इम्यूनाइजेशन. अब पोस्ट ऑपरेटिवली हमको क्या देखना है पेशेंट में? वजाइनल ब्लीडिंग मोस्ट कॉमनली, पल्स, बीपी, एंटीबायोटिक, beta HCG after 48 hours of suction and evacuation. Baseline beta HCG हम ग्राफ पेपर एक बनाते हैं जिसमें हम बेसलाइन बीटा एससीजी को ड्रॉ करते जाते हैं. वीकली हम मॉनिटर करेंगे बीटा एससीजी टिल 3 वीक्स. ओके, अगर फिर उसके बाद मंथली मॉनिटर करेंगे 6 मंथ तक. पहले की गाइडलाइंस जो कहती थी कि 6 मंथ तक कंप्लीट मोल और पार्शियल मोल में दोनों में 6 मंथ तक किया जाता है, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू लेटेस्ट गाइडलाइन ऑफ द फीगो 2021 पार्शियल मोल जो है 1 मंथ तक किया जाता है और कंप्लीट इंस्टेड ऑफ 6 मंथ एंड कंप्लीट मोल 6 मंथ तक ही किया जाता है मंथली. But during that surveillance, pregnancy is not allowed to happen because we will confuse with the SCG concentration. Now, contraception of the choice. Contraception of the choice is combined oral contraceptive pills. We can use for Dampa, that is Antra, 3 month, 150 milligram IV. In plants में we can use for 3-keto-desogestrel, that Nexplanon for 3 years, radio opaque, easily detectable in the X-ray and USG. Copper T is contraindicated in this case, in these patients. Histopath is must in complete H mole and partial H mole. USG में आपको अगर मिस्ड अबॉर्शन है तो जी सैक एम्ब्रियो मोर देन 7 mm वगैरह मिलेगा, बट अगर मोल है तो आपको स्नोस्ट्रोम अपीयरेंस देखने को ज़्यादा मिलेगा. अब हिस्टोपैथ डिफ्रेंशिएट कैसे करेगी, मतलब हिस्टोपैथ डिफ्रेंशिएट कर सकता है, क्योंकि आपको इसमें विलस, इडीमा, ट्रोफोब्लास्टिक प्लोरिफरेशन, सेल्यूलर, एटीपीआई, ये सब कंप्लीट मोल में देखने को मिलेगा. एंड इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ चॉइस इज मॉलिक्यूलर जीनोटाइपिंग. मॉलिक्यूलर जीनोटाइपिंग में हम कंप्लीट एच मोल, पार्शियल एच मोल और डिप्लॉयड अबॉर्टस के बारे में पता लगा सकते हैं. one marker is also there, that is immunohistochemical marker P57 or P57 KIP1, partially paternally imprinted and maternally expressed, means in maternal chromosome में ये जीन एक्सप्रेस होता है P57 और P57 KIP1. सो पार्शियल मोल में मैटरनल जीन है तो फिर हमको P57 पॉजिटिव मिलेगा, लेकिन अगर कंप्लीट मोल में मैटरनल जीन नहीं है तो P57 हमको नेगेटिव मिलेगा. बस हम इसमें पार्शियल मोल को डिप्लॉयड अबॉर्टस से डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर सकते. नाउ अगर कंप्लीट मोल है तो 9 वीक तक हम एचसीजी डिटेक्ट करेंगे, मतलब 9 वीक्स लग जाएंगे एचसीजी को नॉर्मल होने में, मींस अनडिटेक्टेबल होने में, और पार्शियल मोल में 7 वीक लग जाते हैं अनडिटेक्टेबल होने में. कुछ सिनेरियोज डिस्कस करते हैं. अगर पेशेंट 40+ है और उसकी फैमिली कंप्लीट है तो हम हिस्टेक्टॉमी कर सकते हैं विद बीटा एचसीजी मॉनिटरिंग, पर डू नॉट रिमूव द ओवरीज फॉर थीका ल्यूटिन सिस्ट. हम उनको, अगर टॉर्शन प्रेजेंट है तो हम उनको अनटॉर्शन कर देंगे और फ्लूइड को रिमूव कर देंगे, पर ओफ्रेक्टोमी का भी नहीं करते हैं. और जब भी हम अनटॉर्शन करेंगे तो रिमेंबर, याद रखना कि हमें हमेशा वाइटल्स चेक करना है, क्योंकि जो सब कुछ फ्री रेडिकल्स वगैरह होते हैं ड्यूरिंग अनटॉर्शन के टाइम पे वो बॉडी में जा कर के हार्मफुल इफेक्ट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. Now, post-evacuation surveillance, it is the most important thing. If the patient become pregnant, so it is not an indication for the MTP. We can continue this pregnancy, but we cannot surveillance and keep patient under surveillance. And now, hysterectomy and medical method of removal is not recommended for this cases, means H mole. Prophylactic chemotherapy means methotrexate and actinomycin in case of after suction and evacuation. Risk of so when we give methotrexate or actinomycin after suction and evacuation, the chances of GTM reduces 3 to 8% in complete molar as compared to 15 to 20% before the chemotherapy. So in high risk patient, और if patient follow up is not मतलब एश्योर नहीं है कि पेशेंट एचसीजी के साथ आकर के आपको फॉलो अप कराएगा टाइटर के साथ, तो आप उसको कीमोथेरेपी भी दे सकते हो. नेक्स्ट, persistent GTD. Persistent GTD is not a different type, but persistent GTD needs chemotherapy. Now, what is persistent GTD? Gestational trophoblastic disease. HCG increased by 10% for 2 weeks. 0, 7, 14. HCG plateau for 3 weeks. 0, 7, 14, 21. HCG is present even for more than 6 months. Histopath suggestive of choriocarcinoma. Okay, so the persistent GTD, there are 4 conditions are there. It needs chemotherapy. According to James Obbs, adjuvant chemotherapy in constant or increased HCG level, beta HCG is present more than 6 months, histopath suggestive of choriocarcinoma. If after 4 weeks of suction and evacuation, the HCG level is more than 2000 international unit. Evidence of metastasis in the lung, liver and the brain. Perforation is there when there is a hemoperitoneum or internal rupture is there. Now, when vaginal nodule post suction and evacuation is seen, so there is a contraindication for biopsy because it causes profuse bleeding and suggestive of choriocarcinoma. Okay. Now some differentiation: complete mole and partial mole. Complete mole is a diploid condition, partial mole is a triploid condition. It on USG can be diagnosis can be made, and USG suggests of snowstorm appearance, maybe which diagnosed as threatened abortion and rare. Partial mode. Thecal lutein cyst is there in complete mode. 25 to 30% cases are there. In beta SCG, more than 1 lakh international unit is there, and in partial mode less than 1 lakh international unit. मेडिकल कंडीशन में आपको कंप्लीट मोल में ज़्यादा चीज़ें देखने को मिलेंगी, लाइक हाइपर टेंशन, हाइपर इमेसिस, हाइपर थायरॉयडिज्म एज कम्पेयर टू द पार्शियल मोल. Risk of gestational, we already knew it, that 15 to 20% in partial mole, 0.5 to 5% in complete mole 15 to 20%, and in partial mole 0.5 to 5%. Fetus is absent, fetus is present. RBC, fetal RBC, obviously when fetus is absent, fetal RBC already also absent in complete, present in partial. Villus edema diffuse means ज़्यादा है तो diffuse दिखेगा, और partial mole में focal दिखेगा आपको. Trophoblastic proliferation similarly diffuse and focal. P57, we already knew that maternal chromosome is present in partial one, so it will be positive in partial mole as compared to the complete mole. Treatment is same: suction and evacuation, suction and evacuation. Monitoring till 6 months after complete, after suction and evacuation 6 month तक surveillance करते हैं, and 1 month after in 1 month after undetectable. RH नेगेटिव में अगर कंप्लीट मोल है तो अगर हमको मतलब RH नेगेटिव मदर है, मतलब रेसेसिव वाला जीन है उसमें, या फिर फादर पॉजिटिव है, मीन्स उसमें ये होगा या तो फिर ये होगा, एक रेसेसिव एक डोमिनेंट या फिर दोनों ही डोमिनेंट. तो कंप्लीट मोल में चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा है कि डी जो है वो एक्सप्रेस होगा ही होगा. तो हम उसको सक्शन एंड एवैक्यूएशन में जो एक्सपोजर हो जाता है उसमें हम कैन डेवलप isoimmunization, so we have to give anti-D, but with immediate after suction and evacuation can be given. It is more effective, but it is of no use when give more than 28 days after suction and evacuation. Now the one another condition is there: ectopic with molar pregnancy. So it is managing as the ectopic pregnancy, as already we have to remove salpingectomy can be done, and send tissue for the HPR, and beta SCG monitoring should be done. On abortion, if there is a abortion is done, बट हमारे पास कोई पेशेंट आया है कि मेरा अबॉर्शन हो चुका है अपने आप स्पॉन्टेनियस, बट हमारे पास कोई USG नहीं है उसकी, और कोई फीटल पार्ट भी देखने को नहीं मिल रहा है, ग्रैप लाइक वेसिकल और नॉट. सो फर्स्ट वी विल डू UPT. मोर देन अगर UPT पॉजिटिव आ जाता है 3 वीक्स के बाद भी अबॉर्शन के, सो देयर आर चांसेस कि उसको H मोल होगा. तो हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी शुड बी डन इफ प्रोडक्ट इज प्रेजेंट. सो वी विल continuously monitoring, keep the patient under surveillance with beta SCG titer and graph, and we will monitor that patient. Thank you. This is complete about benign gestational trophoblastic disease. In the next part, we will discuss about gestational trophoblastic neoplasia. Thank you.